Zainab knelt on the cold cement floor with a bucket in her hand, her slim dark body shaking as she scrubbed the stains again and again. Her long black braids were tied back with a faded ribbon, and her simple blue casual dress was already soaked with water. Adana stood over her, her fair brown skin glowing under the afternoon sun, her short curly hair neatly styled, gold earrings shining. "You are very stubborn," Adana shouted. "Did I not tell you to clean this floor before I came back? Look at it. Are you blind?" Zainab lowered her gentle eyes and whispered, "Sorry, Mama Adana. I will clean it again." In the corner, Kellichi, the chubby boy with short low-cut hair, sat on a plastic chair, eating meat pie and watching cartoons. He wore a red t-shirt, black shorts, and sneakers. He laughed and said, "Leave her, Mama. She is just dull. She cannot do anything well." Adana smiled at him and patted his head. "My son, don't worry. You are different from her. You are my real child." Every day was like this in the house. Zainab woke up before sunrise, fetched water, cooked food, washed clothes, and cleaned the small sitting room and kitchen. She was slim but strong, and her hands were rough from hard work. When she tried to read her school books at night, Adana would shout, "Stop wasting time. Come and wash plates." But Kellichi slept early and never washed anything. Sometimes, village children mocked Zainab, calling her house girl. One evening, Mama Ifunanya, the old village elder with wrinkled dark skin and grey hair tied in a scarf, visited. She leaned on her walking stick and looked at Adana with wise eyes. "Daughter," she said slowly, "a child is a child, whether blood or not. Spirits do not like wicked hearts." Adana laughed and replied, "Mama, you are old. This girl is not my blood. Let her work for her food." Mama Ifunanya shook her head. "The river sees everything." That night, Zainab cried quietly on her mat. She wore her simple pink dress and stared at the ceiling. "Why does Mama Adana hate me?" she whispered. Outside, the moon was bright, and the nearby river shone like silver. She remembered Mama Ifunanya's words and decided to walk to the river. Her slippers made soft sounds on the sand. When she reached the water, she saw her reflection, but another face appeared beside hers. It was a woman with glowing eyes and long flowing hair, wearing a white cloth that moved like smoke. "Zainab," the woman called in a soft voice. Zainab trembled. "Who are you?" The woman smiled. "I am Mirinma, the river spirit. I have watched your tears. Do not cry. Your kindness will lift you high. But never return evil for evil." Zainab bowed and whispered, "I will obey." Suddenly, the spirit disappeared, and the water became normal again. The next day, Zainab felt different. She worked with a calm heart and smiled even when Adana insulted her. Adana noticed this and became angry. "Why are you smiling like a mad girl?" she asked. Zainab replied, "Nothing, Mama." But Adana's eyes followed her. In the evening, Adana secretly followed Zainab when she went to the river again. She hid behind a mango tree and watched as Zainab talked softly to the water. Adana's heart beat fast. "Is this girl using juju?" she thought. She remembered Mama Ifunanya's warning and felt fear. But instead of stopping, her wicked mind planned something dark. "If this girl is talking to spirits, I must stop her," she muttered. That night, Adana called Kellichi into her room. "My son," she said in a low voice, "that girl is dangerous. She may be using evil power. Tomorrow, I will deal with her." Kellichi shrugged and said, "Do anything you want, Mama. I don't like her anyway." Outside, Zainab slept peacefully, dreaming of a bright light and a big hospital where she wore a white nurse uniform. But in the dark, Adana sharpened a knife and whispered, "No spirit will take my son's glory." The wind blew hard, and the river made a strange sound, as if warning the house. Morning came with loud shouting. Adana stood in the kitchen, her fair brown face hard like stone, her short curly hair tied back with a scarf. Zainab stood before her, slim and quiet in her simple yellow casual dress and flat slippers. From today, Adana said, you will not go to school again. School is not for stubborn girls who talk to spirits. You will stay in this house and work. Zainab's gentle eyes filled with tears. Mama Adana, please, I want to be a nurse. I want to help people. Adana laughed loudly. Nurse? You cannot even wash plates well. Kellichi, chubby and lazy in his blue t-shirt and shorts, laughed and kicked his football. Mama is right. She is just a house girl. Zainab held her books tightly and whispered, please. But Adana pushed the books away. No more school. That evening, Mama Ifunanya came again, leaning on her walking stick. She saw Zainab crying behind the house. Child, the old woman said softly, do not lose hope. The spirits bless the patient heart. Zainab wiped her tears. Mama, I want to learn. I want to be someone. Mama Ifunanya nodded. Go to the river tonight. Listen carefully. That night, Zainab walked to the shining river again. Miranma appeared in the water, her eyes glowing and her long hair floating. Zainab, the spirit said, your path is long. Wicked hands will push you away, but your destiny is strong. Go where learning is, even if they send you far. Zainab bowed. I will not hate them, she said. The spirit smiled. Good. Hate destroys blessings. Days later, Adana found a chance to send Zainab away. A distant aunt in the city needed a helper, and Adana quickly agreed. Let her go and suffer there, she told Kellichi. Zainab packed her small bag, wearing her simple green dress and carrying her worn books. Mama Adana, thank you, she said politely. Adana rolled her eyes. Go and never come back to disturb my peace. Kellichi waved carelessly. Bye, house girl. Zainab entered the bus with tears in her eyes but hope in her heart. In the city, she worked in the aunt's shop during the day and secretly attended night school. Her slim hands sold goods, cooked food, and still turned pages of books late at night. Teachers noticed her brilliance. A scholarship came like magic, and she entered a nursing school. Each night, she dreamed of Miranma smiling. Years passed like wind. Zainab grew into a young woman, still slim, dark-skinned, with long black braids and gentle eyes, but now she wore neat casual dresses and carried herself with quiet confidence. She became a famous nurse in a big modern hospital. Patients loved her kindness. She sent small money home, but Adana ignored it. Kellichi grew lazier, playing games and roaming with friends, wearing dirty t-shirts and sneakers, refusing to learn any skill. The house became poor, debts grew, and Adana began to worry. One night, she dreamed of the river spirit pointing at her and shaking her head. One bright afternoon, the village heard loud car horns. A convoy of cars entered the dusty road. People gathered, shouting in surprise. A slim woman stepped out in a beautiful simple white casual dress, her long black braids shining, her gentle eyes smiling. It was Zainab. She hugged Mama Ifunanya and greeted the elders. I am back, she said softly. Adana stood at the door, shocked, her gold earrings shaking. Kellichi dropped his phone and stared. Zainab said, I have come to help. But inside her bag was a strange letter from the hospital, and inside her heart was a secret plan guided by the river spirit. As night fell, the river made loud sounds again, and Adana felt fear in her bones. Zainab stood in the middle of the compound as villagers surrounded her. She was still slim, dark-skinned, with long black braids and gentle eyes. She wore a simple cream casual dress and flat slippers, but her posture was confident. Children ran around the cars, touching them and shouting, Mema Ifunanya raised her walking stick and said, "The river has returned what was lost." Adana stood by the door, her fair brown face pale, her short curly hair messy, her colorful casual dress now faded with age. Kellichi, chubby and wearing a dirty t-shirt and sneakers, stared at Zainab with jealousy. "So she is now rich," he whispered. Zainab called the elders and announced, "I came to pay the family debts and rebuild this house." The villagers clapped. Builders arrived, and within weeks, a modern house with painted walls and tiled floors rose on the old land. Zainab paid school fees for village children and bought medicine for the sick. People praised her kindness. Adana watched everything with mixed feelings, pride, fear, and shame. She remembered how she mocked Zainab's dreams. At night, she heard whispers in her sleep, like water flowing and someone saying, "Kindness grows like a river." Kellichi changed for the worse. He refused to help the builders and laughed at Zainab. "You think money makes you better," he shouted one afternoon. Zainab replied calmly, "I only want peace in this family." Kellichi turned to Adana and said, "You see? Because of her, everyone thinks you are wicked." Adana slapped him. "Shut up." But Kellichi pushed her hand away. "You ruined my life. You spoiled me and made me useless." The villagers gathered, shocked by his words. Mema Ifunanya whispered, "The child you spoil will become your mirror." One night, a big fight broke out in the house. Kellichi accused Adana of loving Zainab more now that she had money. He broke a chair and threw his bag outside. "I am leaving this house," he shouted. "I don't need any of you." He walked into the dark road with his sneakers and phone, ignoring his mother's cries. Adana ran after him but fell on the dusty ground. Zainab helped her up, but Adana pushed her away. "Leave me. All this is your fault," she cried. Thunder rolled, and the river made loud roaring sounds, as if warning the night. The next morning, Adana could not stand up. Her fair brown skin looked dull, and her sharp face looked tired. She lay on her bed wearing a faded casual dress, shaking with fever. Zainab sat beside her, holding her hand gently. "Mama Adana, I will call a doctor," she said. Adana turned her face away. "Why are you helping me? After all I did?" Zainab replied softly, "You are still my mother." Outside, Mama Ifunanya prayed and poured palm oil on the ground, saying, "Spirits, let wicked hearts learn wisdom." That night, the river spirit appeared again in Zainab's dream. Miranmar stood with glowing eyes and long flowing hair. "The house is shaking," the spirit said. "Your kindness is tested. Forgive, but do not forget the lesson." Zainab woke up and looked at Adana sleeping weakly. Outside, people whispered that Kellichi had not returned and that strange shadows were seen near the river. The wind howled, and the lights flickered in the new house. Zainab felt that a final storm was coming. Adana woke up before dawn with tears on her fair brown face. Her short curly hair was untidy, and her sharp face looked old and tired. She wore a faded purple casual dress and sat weakly on the bed. Outside, the new house was quiet, and the wind moved the curtains softly. Zainab, still slim and dark-skinned with long black braids and gentle eyes, sat beside her, wearing a simple light blue casual dress and flat slippers. She brought warm pap and medicine. "Mama Adana, eat small," she said kindly. Adana held the cup with shaking hands. "Why are you still good to me?" she asked in a low voice. "After all I did to you." Zainab smiled softly. "The river spirit told me kindness will lift me high. I do not want hate in my heart." That morning, Mama Ifunanya came with other elders. She leaned on her walking stick and spoke in a deep voice. "Adana, the spirits have shown you your mirror. The child you hated became your helper. The child you spoiled ran away from you. What have you learned?" Adana lowered her head. I was wicked, she confessed. I thought only my blood mattered. I forgot that kindness is a seed. The elders poured libation and warned the children watching. Hear this story, Mama Ifunanya said. The river sees all deeds. Wickedness may hide today, but it will cry tomorrow. In the afternoon, Kellichi returned. He was still chubby, wearing dirty sneakers, a torn t-shirt, and tired eyes. He had walked all night and slept under a mango tree. When he entered the compound, he saw the modern house and the villagers staring. He knelt before Adana and Zainab. Mama, I am sorry, he said. I was angry. I am lazy. Teach me again. Adana cried and hugged him tightly. My son, I spoiled you and destroyed you. Forgive me. Zainab held both of them and said, We will start again. That night, Zainab went to the river one last time. The moon was bright, and the water shone like silver. Miranmar appeared with glowing eyes and long flowing hair. You have passed the test, the spirit said. You did not return evil for evil. Because of your heart, this house will know peace. Zainab bowed and thanked the spirit. When she returned home, she felt a warm peace in her chest. Adana slept peacefully for the first time in many years, and Kellichi dreamed of learning a skill and becoming useful. Days later, Adana gathered the village children and told them her story. She wore a clean, colorful casual dress and gold earrings again, but her voice was humble. I was wicked to a child who was not my blood. That wickedness returned to me as shame and pain. Zainab's kindness returned to her as wealth and honor. Learn from me, she said. The children listened quietly, and the elders nodded. Kindness brings blessings, but wickedness brings regret. Treat every child with love, because the river of life returns what you pour into it.